In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah. That woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate.
At all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Well, that's ridiculous.
Bill Maher didn't just disagree with Sunny Hostin. He dismantled her and the entire woke Hollywood elite with precision of a surgeon and the flair of a roast master. Maher delivered a takedown so clean it left everyone's jaws on the floor. And the wild part? These two should be on the same team. Both are left-leaning. But Maher isn't playing by the woke rulebook anymore, and he made sure Hostin knew it.
First segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
What exactly did Maher say that sent the woke warriors in Hollywood into meltdown mode? And what does this clash mean for the left Civil War? Buckle up, because we're about to spill the tea. And trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left? Watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas? That straightened me up pretty quick.
Bill Maher recently went on The View to promote his latest book. And what we all thought was a mere PR move quickly turned into a verbal flame-throwing contest. Maher, who leans left, shocked everyone by gaslighting his own side, and nobody saw it coming. It was barbecue night, and the woke mob was on the grill. It all started when Sunny Hostin tried to back Maher into a corner, asking why he was weaponizing the term woke.
It struck me that in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're...
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
Hostin thought she was playing chess by subtly calling Maher a hypocrite. She tried to paint him as someone attacking a culture he supposedly belongs to. But Maher wasn't born yesterday. He saw through her setup like glass and had zero intention of falling for the woke mob's favorite trick, twisting words to trap their opponents.
Bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know. Want to call it the super far left?
Bill Maher's first move was to brilliantly sidestep Hostin's trap by insisting that words migrate, and that one word today can mean something totally different tomorrow. So no, he didn't use the term woke in its original sense, but in the context and meaning that the extreme leftist mob had given it. Hostin probably thought she'd watch Maher crumble under the hypocrisy charge, but instead she walked straight into his setup. Maher turned the tables, forcing Hostin to taste the very trap she laid.
But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a joke. But,
Too dark, too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, you know, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up.
Did you catch that? Here's Bill Maher's reaction. Maher, a card-carrying lefty, claimed that he got straightened up really quick when he saw the woke mob voicing support for the terrorist group Hamas. Yes, Hamas, the group infamous for believing Israel doesn't deserve to exist and should be wiped off the planet. Charming, right? But wait, it gets worse. Their ideology doesn't stop there. It has spawned repeated efforts to eliminate Jews both in the sub-region and beyond. And yet here we are, with self-proclaimed woke warriors pointing fingers at Israelis for the audacity of existing, while cheering on Hamas's twisted mission. Maher, for all his liberalism, is as shocked by this insanity as the rest of us.
I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values.
Maher nailed it. Most of the women on The View, including Hostin, would choose to live in Israel rather than in Palestine. Israelis have values that mirror American society. In fact, none of the hypocrites in the woke crowd would want to live in Palestine due to its strict laws that curtail the freedom of women. Maher pulled no punches, exposing the woke crowd's double standards. They scream against Israel, but wouldn't last 5 minutes living under Palestine's oppressive rules. The hypocrisy was glaring. Maher exposed a huge gap between women's rights in Israel versus Palestine, and suddenly, the woke mob became agitated.
Women have no, this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place, and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. There is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
The LGBTQ community as well.
Yes. You that too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world, where women are second-class citizens, at best.
Maher just delivered another deadly blow by highlighting the gender rights disparity in a majority of Muslim countries, the very countries the woke warriors are so desperately fighting for. In effect, he was telling Hostin and her ilk to book a flight to those countries and see firsthand how women are being marginalized in every aspect of society. This was a subtle yet devastating uppercut that left Hostin and her panel scrambling, desperate to recover. They played the classic innocent civilians card, hoping to corner Maher once more. But Bill Maher doesn't fold that easily. If they thought he'd stumble, they were in for another reality check.
Are you at all concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women?
Of
and
course.
Are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Hostin knew that Bill Maher had completely obliterated her earlier argument, where she questioned why a true leftist wouldn't support woke culture. So she tried to frame Maher as a supporter of violence against innocent civilians. Her question, right on the heels of Maher's brilliant submission, sought to question Maher's morality, a classic woke move. Once their arguments fall flat under scrutiny, they resort to questioning people's moral standards. But Maher was fully prepared. He released another salvo that shattered Hostin and woke culture strategy into pieces. And what a brilliant move it was.
It's ridiculous, but it's a war.
Why?
It's a war. Because it's a war, and they were attacked, and they're defending themselves. Now, this is a war. Do you think Hamas needs to be...
Hostin realized Maher had just torched her earlier argument about why a true leftist like him wouldn't back woke culture. So, in a last-ditch attempt, she tried to paint him as a supporter of violence against innocent civilians. Classic woke move. When her arguments crumble under scrutiny, they pivot to moral grandstanding. But Maher saw it coming a mile away. He fired back with another devastating salvo, blowing Hostin's weak strategy in the woke playbook into tiny, irreparable pieces. And here's the kicker. Maher's counter wasn't just brilliant. It was a masterclass in handling these setups. Pay close attention, folks.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
So how can we get out with a ceasefire?
All right. So Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means, okay? And they say it very openly. They said, we did this attack. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 wars since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community, and they spent it on bombs and guns and building tunnels. So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? It's a war. I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that.
But are you
I assume the Israeli...
innocent lives?
Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop attacking Israel.
There was a truth bomb dropped with Bill Maher's signature calm precision. Notice how everyone clapped, except Hostin. Oh, she felt that heat and sat there like a soaked dog shivering on a freezing Friday night. Maher dismantled the woke mindset so thoroughly that even Hostin's panelists and a presumably left-leaning studio audience couldn't resist applauding his brilliance. Maher knows the woke playbook inside and out, and he exposes its absurdity with surgical finesse. But hold on, he wasn't done yet. He saved the best shot for last. When Whoopi asked if the media skewed the news to push a narrative, Maher's answer was nothing short of masterful. Listen to this.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And it's narrative over truth. You know,
Yes.
I mean, it's not like when I hear people talk on either side of it, I always think they're lying. They're just telling me half of it.
Yeah.
And I never trust them anywhere until I check out the other half.
Once again, Bill Maher tore into the woke agenda, which he cleverly dubbed the narrative of truth. You know that for the ultra-lefties, truth is rarely their priority. Their real mission is shoving their narratives down everyone's throats. No questions asked. Truth is often sacrificed for convenience, and anyone who dares challenge them gets canceled and forgotten. That's why Maher refuses to join the woke bandwagon, because it's full of people with ulterior motives, bent on eroding the cultural and traditional fabric America was built on. Maher's courage sent shockwaves through the room, even earning him a few fans from the right. But did you catch Hostin's face during all this? She looked like she'd seen a ghost, and couldn't wait to flee. Naturally, she wasn't about to let Maher have the last word, so she tried a desperate move, accusing him of abandoning his liberal, woke views. But once again, Maher had the perfect response.
Old school liberals, which I would mostly count myself as, old school conservatives, there's still some of those
You've
left.
changed, though.
Wait, what are the other two?
Go ahead.
What are the other two?
Well, that's what I was trying to find out in this book. I don't think I have. And, you know, we were saying in the break, we have to come up with a new word for woke. Let's have a contest, because this is a word that's triggering. But, I mean, those concepts that are different than they were 5 years.
Maher was basically saying that he was an old-school liberal who believed in social justice that doesn't make people comfortable in their misery. He argued that his views were totally different from the woke mob, who think people should be encouraged in their misery, even when it's hurting them. To drive his point home, Maher gave a classic example. An old-school liberal, he argued, would be all for getting homeless men off the street and into safe, comfortable shelters. Meanwhile, the woke mob would prefer to keep them right there on the sidewalk, demanding that everyone else deal with the inconvenience. And anyone who dares complain gets canceled.
Was a term that I thought we kind of came up with because people were calling them bums and vagrants and hobos.
Now that's
homeless.
not
Now, no.
It's unhoused.
Well, it's
now.
people
Unhoused.
experiencing
Unhoused.
homelessness. But they're experiencing it on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, the liberal view of that was, for compassion's sake, we're the liberals, we're compassionate. Let's get these people off the street.
Yeah.
That's not the view of the, whatever word we're going to come up with for this. Their view of the homeless is they're an endangered species that needs to be protected in their natural habitat, living their best life under a bridge.
Maher's bravery, wit, and sarcasm on the show were excellent. Everyone who watched that episode had nothing but praise for the comedian for putting the woke mob in their place. One fan wrote, "I've never seen anyone destroy the liberal woke narrative so calmly and eloquently while leaving the View panel dumbfounded and speechless." Others joined Maher in calling out hypocrisy in woke culture. One commenter wrote, "Unbelievable what hypocrites these women are. Comical that they should complain about the media not telling both sides of the story when the media is already 90% on their side, and they never tell the other side on their show." Others called out Sunny Hostin for her underhanded tactics. Sunny needs to stop putting words in people's mouths, saying they said something they didn't. Total gaslighting. Bill Maher's appearance on The View was less of a friendly chat and more of a masterclass in dismantling woke hypocrisy. From the moment Sunny Hostin tried to corner him, Maher handled her like a seasoned pro, calm, precise, and devastating. The woke mob didn't see it coming, and judging by their collective meltdown, they're still reeling from a fallout. Interestingly, Maher hasn't limited his sharp critiques to the woke mob. He even takes on presidents who champion ultra-leftist causes. During his time on The View, the comedian took a swipe at President Biden for his age and how it probably affects his ability to lead.
Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way. You know, you look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver.
Ouch. That one had to hurt. Conclusion. Anyone being labeled incompetent and unfit to run the most powerful country on earth is brutal enough. But being compared to a cadaver while you're still breathing? That's roast-level mastery. It also ties neatly into the ever-popular theory that Biden isn't exactly calling the shots in the White House, that he's just a puppet, while the real string pullers lurk behind the curtain. Maher's appearance on The View wasn't just a headache for the woke mob. It was a full-blown migraine. His razor-sharp rhetoric and devastating quips left Sunny Hostin looking like she wished the floor would open up and swallow her whole. By the time Maher dropped his final truth bomb, Hostin's arguments were dust, and the woke mob's fragile narrative lay in shambles. They never stood a chance. And this brings us to the end of today's video. If you loved this breakdown, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more epic takedowns of the woke mob. See you in the next video.